All right. Yay. So we got another awesome, exciting Moms Like Us interview today with Lana, and she's joining us from the UK, which is super cool. And we get to hear her beautiful accent, which I could listen to all day long. And Karen loves it too. And she is a Reiki master and a healing practitioner. And I'm so excited because Reiki is a healing art that I don't really know too much about. And a lot of people are probably familiar with the term and have heard it, but don't really know what it is or what goes into it. So she's going to be sharing with us her journey, being a mom and discovering this as her path and helping people, and letting us know how we can get involved. Even though she's in the UK, she does distance healing, which I'm sure you're going to love to hear about. So Lana, thank you so much. I'm so excited. So tell us about yourself, girl.
Hi, thank you for having me on here. Yes, so a little bit nervous about talking to you all. I don't do this very often. Yes, so I don't know if anybody does know anything about Reiki at all, but I got into doing this, I've been doing it for just over, nearly 10 years now. But I've had a bit of a spiritual link for quite a while before that. Many sensitivities and not quite sure what it was that I was being led to. But it was a while that I was doing this, and I found myself, I looked into a local advertisement, and it just jumped out of me that a local Reiki master wanted to teach some new students in the art of Reiki. I hadn't even heard of it at that point before. And I went along, and the energy was just phenomenal. So I did the Reiki 1 and the Reiki 2 with her, but there's a length of time between the two. And I had to have like a 21-day self-cleanse as well, and to get my own energy levels up before doing the Reiki 2 as a practitioner level. But I took a lot longer than that compared to some, because I had other things going on in my life as well. But there are certain things that sort of like led me to that in my life's purpose, and I've always felt that I was a little bit different anyway. And before I did that people have been saying to me that I had healing hands, and I've got a bit of spiritual link and things like that. I thought this is really strange, because I know there's something different there. I wasn't quite sure how to pinpoint it. But the funny thing was, though, the very first day that I did that, I got drawn to a little shop in town that I've never ever been to before. It was like an angel shop, and I went in there, and the lady in there was absolutely wonderful, really lovely. Lots of crystals, incense, various things about in there as well. And so the energy just drew me in there. And it's through getting to know her as well that I did a lot in the way of psychic development and clairvoyancy groups, and meditation. I've done my own meditation groups before as well. And I linked a lot more spirits. And it sort of like flows a little bit more with the Reiki with what I'm doing. So it makes that a lot more stronger. So that's to say that brought me into the spiritual realm a little bit more with regard to what I'm doing with the healing. But the Reiki itself is a universal life force energy. It may seem a little bit woo-woo to you, but it was developed by Dr. Yasuo in Japan many, many, many years ago. And he had his own cleansing experience. And he ended up teaching other people, who then taught other people with, he had a lineage of Reiki practitioners that obviously is spread throughout the world. I mean, that's just a very basic telling you with regard to a little bit about it. Obviously, it could go on for hours about that side of things. But I mean, Reiki, it's all energy. We live in a world of energy, and it nourishes and maintains our energy levels and all living things. And so when our energy is interrupted, she gets like an imbalance of our chakras, and it can cause anything from like some headaches, backache, depression, anxiety, insomnia. You can have problems on an emotional level, on various different levels: physical, mental, spiritual, emotional levels. And it's amazing how just the slightest thing out of alignment can cause a dramatic change in a person's life. And it's not just in person that I can do this. I mean, I have done over the years a lot of in-person Reiki with people obviously here and now, but it can be done distantly, and it's not just the present time of doing the Reiki either. I can do it and help to heal past, present and future. And if there's any particular situation that you've got coming up or that you're going through, it can help on a level on that sense as well. And it helps with the situation and also on how you're feeling, and to balance out any negative energy and turn it around into positive. There are so many kinds of different things that it can help with, and basically if you can think of anything that the Reiki can help on some sort of level. It can even go to levels of like helping people with cancer and other ailments and various things like that, to help, not necessarily to completely heal, although it actually has been known to do that, but it can help on various different levels emotionally, because obviously you can get depression for various different problems as well that are linked to different ailments. But also it can help with side effects of medication and things like that. But also the Reiki can help with animals as well as objects, and just various different things as well, because other things have energy that you wouldn't even think of. So it's one of those phenomena that you don't really completely understand until you experience it. But since my spiritual link actually has been getting stronger, I do actually hear and feel spirits. I mean, this has been going on for years anyway, a lot more since I've been in the groups with the psychic development, etc. that I did. But I do hear and, as I say, hear and feel spirits. So I get guided a lot while I'm doing the healing. So I do send focus and intention to where it needs to go, depending on the situation and the person I'm working on. But also my guides will help link to that person's guides, and it will flow in a lot of a stronger level. And I use crystals too, so I have an extra pair of crystals I use within. So there's a lot more to it than just sitting there and channeling, because the Reiki channels through me. So at the same time as sending the healing, I actually myself get healing too at the same time, and any negativity that I'm feeling for any particular reason also gets washed away, and positive energy flows out to whoever I'm working with, and it's all done with a massive passion and place of love. So it's sorry, I'm babbling a bit now, and I'm going, I could be going forever now.
I am every word. I'm learning so much from you. I have a question. Are you able to perform? Excuse me. Are you able to do this with somebody who is unknowing about it, or does a person need to be aware and like open and receptive to? It
helps if the person does know and wants to have the healing, and has full intention of receiving it. That actually makes it go through a lot of a stronger level, because whilst you're working with them, it can help if they are relaxed at the time and open to it. If somebody, I mean, it has worked on lots of people that are very skeptical, because then soon they change their thoughts, because once they've received it, they think it's the wow factor completely, and thinking, how the hell has that happened? Why am I now feeling like this? What was that just happened? I don't understand. And it does turn a lot of people's thought patterns around completely with regard to it. But I mean, with regard to situations, I mean, if there any sort of particular disaster that's going on in the world, I can send my thought and focus and the healing to the people involved, to the actual situation, so they don't necessarily have to be aware of what I'm doing. But if there's somebody that's not actually open to it, that's absolutely fine as well, because I will send it to that person, to their higher self. So at any particular point where that openness comes alive, it will then automatically come down to them. Even the slightest opening of when their energies change, it will come to them. So they don't necessarily have to be wanting it or thinking that that it's for them. But if somebody wants me to send it to them, or to somebody they know, or say to a situation, it will still go to the higher self, and the Reiki will flow through as and when at the appropriate time.
That is super, super cool. To put it lightly, that's super exciting. So,
I mean, I have done lots in England as well. But actually, funnily enough, a lot of clients I've been working on more recently have been in the US, and other places as well, similar too. So, I mean, it has no concept of time at all, time or relativity of distance either, because I mean, obviously there's a time difference in different countries as well, and it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. There've been people I've been treating recently, have no idea of how they're going to feel. I mean, everybody feels something different. It's because their energies are different, their situation's different, their bodies, their healing levels, everything as well, like that. So what they feel at the time and afterwards, it's not the same for two different people's situations. But it always gets me, actually, and it's quite heartwarming when people come back to me with their response and their results, their feedback of actually how they feel and how amazed they are, and how grateful for how it's turned them around, just in like the one treatment sometimes, or a flow of others, depending on what they need it for. So it's wonderful to hear everything that people get from it. It's brilliant. I love it, and I can't think of a better thing to ever be doing in my life than to be helping as many people as I can.
That's so wonderful. So I have a very, very awesome woman very close to me who's interested in studying Reiki. So what guidance, what advice would you give to somebody who's interested in learning how to do this, professionally?
As I say, I learnt in person with a very reputable Reiki master local to me. So I would recommend, if you can, going to somebody in person. But I mean, so I did that, the Reiki 1 and the Reiki 2. But because when it became to the amount of time that I've been doing this for, and the strength of my own energy, I was able to attune at the master level distantly through a combination of two different masters myself. Because obviously, where you can do distant healing and send that energy through to the energy of somebody else, it works in a similar level when you're getting your attunements as well. So you can get attuned distantly too. It's whoever you feel most comfortable with. I myself actually will be training others to do Reiki themselves as well. So I'll be doing that, some of it in person, the training, but I will be putting packages out there myself to train people online to get my own energy put through to them. I mean, there are some people that I know that I've worked on just in person as well, that they've had treatments from other people, but they've not got the same energy, the same levels from them as they do from me. And it's amazing the difference you get. You have to get that connection, and it works very similarly. So yeah, if anybody at any point would like to know a bit more, I will be putting that out there soon to train others, and it will be sort of like on a level of online with PDFs, etc., as well as videos and online links, and I'll be doing attunements in a similar way as I do online with healing as well. So when I'm doing my online healing, I mean, I can do the distant healing in different ways. If there's somebody that doesn't like to be seen on the screen, or too busy and it can't connect because of the time scale, etc., in the country, or the too many interruptions, the ways I can do it as well is the basic level, just with the name and the area they live in and the situation or the issue that needs the healing, just by that. But also another way is if I get a photo of them, so obviously I've got a little bit more of a visual going on there. But what I have been doing too is I link to people online like this on a video online link, so we get that communication going, the extra strength of energy before I start, and then I do exactly the same with the photos I would do sort of online anyway. And the way I do the healing is they can be either sitting or laying down, just as long as they're sort of like relaxed. and they sort of close their eyes and just obviously be receptive to what's coming through to them. And I will sit there for an hour doing my full healing. But it's not just that. I mean, obviously, I bring the crystals into it. I have my guides, and what I've got coming through at the same time. But it includes like discussion before and afterwards, and I do follow-ups as well. And I'm always there on hand for any help that they need afterwards. So it's not just a case of here's the healing, off you go sort of thing. But there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, I've also, a little bit of a sidetrack that I meant to say earlier, but obviously with regard to the extra connection spiritually, I've got so much more of a connection with the moon these days than I always ever had. I always loved trees and you know, nature and the moon anyway, but the connection is so much more stronger now these days. And a lot of the time when I take photos, I get little orbs in most of my photos, because the spirits are always with me, and sometimes they change colour. I get little faces that are in them, and it depends on the energy we're working with at the time. It depends on what I'm bringing through to me, which spirit I've got with me. So I've got that sort of like communication coming to as well. And I've started now, as well as feeling people's auras, because of the strength now over the years, I actually have started seeing people's auras, the colours, when I'm working with them sometimes. And when I'm doing the healing, I get my various feelings too, as well as what they do at the time. But I also get sometimes visuals, thoughts, feelings, and various different attributes at the time of when I'm giving the treatment. So afterwards I can say, I've got this that's come through. Does this mean anything to you? I've got that. Don't worry, it might actually mean something completely different. But it's just to give you an idea of we've got that connection. The energy exchange is actually quite a deep level, and to say it's different of what they get and I get, as to what difference it makes to them, sort of thing. Whether you can, if you can understand that, I'm trying to explain sort of like how well I can, but I get various things coming through to me that sometimes it gobsmacks me as well as to what it is, and it makes me laugh. I mean, one time I did a healing for someone, and afterwards they've just gone out the door, and I had to say to them, sorry, but all the time that I was giving you the healing, I had the theme tune of the Wombles. I don't know if you know the Wombles. No, it must be, I think it's an English thing. And she laughed. I said, well, what's the problem? Why are you laughing? And she said, actually, that used to be my favourite programme as a child. We used to watch it all the time. I loved it. And I said, well, I had to give it to you because it just kept going round and round in my head the whole time I was giving you that.
That is so funny. It's so cool. You're able to like tap into these, your spiritual gifts, and a lot of people have them and just are so unaware. And, you find the more you pay attention to them, the more they show up, and then the stronger it gets. So
absolutely.
Awesome.
I mean, one thing my mum actually puts it down to, bless her, she tells everyone, because when I was born with something called a cowl over my head. It's like a membrane of skin. Mm-hmm. One in about 80,000 people that apparently get born with this. And my grandmother, she was the midwife at the time. I was born like 8 weeks early, and this could have been part of it. That's sort of like the link. But she took it away so I didn't suffocate and threw it away. But it was realised afterwards it's actually supposed to be lucky. And that fishermen used to use it to trawl with, and used to hang it up as well as like a good luck charm. And it's supposed to mean things like being very artistic. I used to do like oil paintings and things like that when I was younger. But it's also supposed to be a very strong spiritual link, and psychic visions and various things like that, and a sixth sense. So obviously that sort of like brings a little bit of a combination through, and maybe a bit of a link as to why I'm a bit more how I am these days, without realising. So it was actually, I think it was meant to be at the time that I found it, at that time in my life. I think that was meant for me to actually come across it and to be how I was supposed to be, and develop that more, and to bring my passion more out into the world.
That's so great. I'm so glad that, you've had all of these things that have led you down your path. It's so cool. So how can people get in touch with you and work with you to have your awesome services for them?
I have my own Facebook group on here. I think we can put a link on there. I've got a Facebook page, Reiki More, but I've got a group that people can link to, which is a little bit more of a bit more in depth, and I do some meditations on there as well occasionally. So that's sort of a little bit of a freebie I put on there, because I used to do meditations, so I give that out too. I do oracle angel card readings as well. So I use my intuition and guidance when I do those. Anybody's free to, obviously, if you want to link to me on my group. I have a website that I'm currently starting to start, I'm bringing about at the moment. It will be called Heal and Be Happy, because that's what I'm about. I want to heal as many people and situations and make them happy, because that's what it's about. Life, everybody should be happy, and so yeah, that's me basically. So yeah, it'll be, if you want to get linked to me through my groups, do that, and I'll be happy to help anybody that would like to bit more information. As I say, don't be afraid to contact me to ask any question, because there's no such thing as a silly question, and to find out whether Reiki can help you, because if need be, you can connect with me. We can have a little bit of a chat and see what I could do for you and what levels will fit for you, if that helps at all.
That sounds great. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely have the link to your Facebook page and your Facebook group. And then when your website's good to go, we'll put the link up for that too, so people can be in touch with you and follow all the services you do. And then, the training program you're going to be having, which sounds really exciting.
Lovely. Actually, one thing I'm starting to do too is write a book. I'm writing my own spiritual book, and it's going to have a lot with me in it. And it's going to be quite light-hearted, because that's me, and not to sound unprofessional with it, but I'm quite ditzy, so I'm going to have a lot of funny anecdotes and various things in it. And obviously I've just given you a very basic of a few bits and pieces of my life in there, but there's going to be a lot throughout my journey within the book, and with regard to Reiki, how it can help, and various different responses I've had to it, different links, what I've had come through, various different energy levels. But as I say, there's going to be a bit of both. So it's going to be a very light-hearted book, but hopefully very interesting to a lot of people. So I'm going to be getting that.
That's going to be fun. I'm excited for you, dude. That's great.
Thank you very much. Yes, no, I'm looking forward to it. It'd be brilliant. At the moment as well, as I say, the Reiki can help on different levels for different things. But I also put together little packages as well. At the moment, I'm working with people with it's a weight management and healing program. So that actually gets helping people on a deeper level as to why they have the problem with the weight, and also I can help with their Akashic records with the past level as to what's affecting them now, and help healing from that level as well as the present, and bring them through. As I say, I use crystals as well, and I infuse crystals and send out to the clients to help them with them whilst they're working with me. And it's a whole month full of different healing techniques that I work with them. But that's just one thing, and don't let that put you off as to anything else. It's because there's so many different packages I'm getting out there to people, so that it can help on different levels, and get the connection in different ways for different people as to what their needs are. Because, as I say, there's so much it can help with, and I don't want people to think, oh, it's just this and this and this. I just want to help however many people I can in whatever way they need. So I'm just getting out there in different ways, so that people can obviously get as much they can from it.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited. I hope a lot of people who see this are interested in checking you out and learning some more about what you do and what you have to offer, and the whole experience in itself. I know, coming from a Christian upbringing and believing in Christ, and I know there's a lot of walls that are up when it
Yep.
comes to this kind of spirituality.
There's no belief system linked to this at all. It's an open universal energy, so anybody can tap into it, anybody can receive it. There's nothing negative about it at all in any way, but with any religion. That's the complete opposite. I mean, I would say I work with the angels. Yes, I work with spirits, etc. And there's nothing that should be put as a problem with any religion alongside it at all. That's the thing that people get a little bit confused about and worried that how it affects them and their belief system. But as I say, there's no belief system at all connected with it. It is a natural healing, same as any other sort of healing. It's if people are open and willing to receive it, they can. So yeah, there's no worry with regard to that at all.
The way that I see it, and in regard to, in addition to Reiki, but all spiritual gifts, intuition and stuff, it's a gift. It's a gift, and regardless of what people believe of how we came about, be it, creation or evolution or what, people are connected, and we receive our gifts in similar ways, and a lot of people have different terminology for how that happens. Sometimes I know I have a lot of friends who have been very hesitant to accepting or even being open to thoughts of any kind of alternative medicine or Eastern practices for wellness, because it doesn't, it kind of, they feel like it goes against what they believe. But that it kind of makes me sad, because I feel like they're missing out on so many wonderful opportunities to connecting to God more, to connecting through their belief system even stronger, by being open to the gifts that we're created to have, and connecting to people on such a deeper level. Speaking for myself as a Christian and believing in Christ and accepting his love and his connection, being able to be with him, it's all the same thing. So I feel like I'm having a hard time articulating it, but it's good to know that, what you're practicing and what you're doing doesn't have like specific religious things, but that it's all encompassing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like many people can agree that regardless of what religious background we come from, that we're all created the same, and love is really the heart of everything. Love is the heart of God, is the love of all creation, and for people to be able to be open to that and receiving it in different ways and helping people with it in different ways is really cool. So, I really appreciate you sharing your gifts with people and helping people find another way of connecting to themselves and connecting to other people too. So thank you so much.
No, you're so welcome. Yes, I mean, so I connect to at the angels and my guides and the spirits while I'm working, but also what I didn't mention was the person that I was working with regard to when I did the psychic development and the clairvoyancy groups. I was actually attuned, apart from the Asuri Reiki, that a lot of people know about in that side. I was attuned to part of Angel Reiki too. So with one particular ascended master that uses the violet flame. Some people may or may not have heard of that, but it gives it an extra power to what I do in transmuting negative energies into positive, in turning that around and actually pushing that negativity out the window. So there's so much more to me and to what I do than people would imagine.
Yeah.
And it's not a case of me sitting there and saying, here you are.
Well, that's cool, man. I hope that people take the opportunity to get to know you more and get to know all of this super incredibly interesting area in life. So I'm excited. I'm excited to know you, and I'm excited for other people to know you, and I'm excited for what you have going on now and in the future, and the legacy you're creating for your children, and it's very exciting. So thank you so much. Do you have anything else that you wanted to share or add before we sign off for today?
Yes, actually, I've got a bit of an offer that I can give out to people. For my distant Reiki, for the online distant healing, as I say, it's an hour treatment, and there's a call or a message in service beforehand, so we have like a discussion beforehand, afterwards, and there's a follow-up too. And using everything I use within the healing and the crystals, etc. That's I charge £80 for that, for the one treatment, but and usually a set of 3 would be 195. But for everyone on here that links to this and sees this, I will be charging 180 for the set of 3 instead, so there's an extra saving there too. But I'm also going to be including an oracle card reading for everybody that books a single treatment with me, and a set of 3 with their card readings for everybody that books a triple treatment, if you see what I mean. So I'm giving that as an extra, as a freebie, alongside the discounted sessions for them. So hopefully there'll be somebody out there, well, not somebody, but people out there that would find this of interest, and just want to put it out there, because like I say, it's difficult. Obviously, all these other mumpreneurs, they've got all these different gifts and everything else that they have to offer. It is difficult. I mean, say being a healer, in actually charging certain amounts for people. And I just want to really help as many people as I can out there as I can, for whatever reason, and just channel my love and light to everybody. So if anybody has got any questions and anything they need to know, just feel free to ping me a message, get in touch with me on my group, and we can have a little chat. And if nothing comes of it, I don't mind. I just love to connect with people. But my office is going to be there. Yeah.
Awesome. So if you're watching and you get in touch with Lana, then Lana.
Hi, Lana. Yeah.
I want to say Lana. I'm sorry. Just make sure you let her know that you found her through the Moms Like Us interview, so you can, get some extra goodies as some mom love.
Yeah, I mean, I also, as I say, I also do the distant healing with photos, etc. as well. So it's slightly different pricing with regard to that, and also do like a monthly group distant healing as well. So there's various different prices and levels that I do for various things. So as opposed to people having like a one-on-one, there's a group healing I can use, putting focus to everybody individually before I put the healing out. So there's different ways and means I do it. So whatever interest people can have to that, just link with me and I can have a little chat and explain a little bit more.
Yay, cool. Well, thank you so much for jumping on here with us and sharing your story, and I'm excited to keep watching what you got going on. So
Thank you so much for having me.
All of your stuff on my website, and be sharing it in my mom tribe on Facebook, and getting some people your way for some love and light and happiness.
Thank you. Do you know, I had so many notes here, pieces of paper all around me, just in case I didn't know what I was going to say, and I was going to mumble and stutter, and I've just completely thrown myself into it, and I'm just gobsmacked. I've just carried on and on. I've just got it out there.
You go, girl. That's what you do.
Today to chat to you.
That's great. I'm so thankful. Well, you did great, and I'm I love the realness that you bring to it too. You know, we're all just normal people, just normal,
Absolutely.
just sharing our gifts. So thank you for being real. I very much appreciate it. So we'll be seeing you soon, okay?
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me on here.